He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world.
It's a story that people with disabilities often tell.
When I was a little girl, I was quite lonely. A lot of kids wouldn't play with me because they saw my disability.
But there's a place where disability doesn't matter.
I can hear the red winged bird.
A place that welcomes people of all disabilities.
It almost makes you emotional to think about how impressive this is.
Citizen Advocacy Ottawa, changing lives.
That was a game changer for us.
It's just beautiful. It really is.
My name is Mike Murphy, and I make my living as a writer, often working from home. But for many years, I was a TV news reporter. I reported all kinds of stories about all kinds of people, from prime ministers to prime suspects in major crimes. But I always kept myself out of the story until now. Recently, I became a volunteer at an organization called Citizen Advocacy Ottawa. It's an organization that's changing lives. I want to introduce you to some of the people who are part of this remarkable organization. Our first stop is to meet my friend Joe Donegan. Let's go for a drive. I was matched with Joe Donegan almost 3 years ago through Citizen Advocacy, which brings together volunteers known as advocates with disabled people. They're called friends. I'm picking him up at his apartment. Hi, Joe. How are you today?
Not bad.
Good to see you.
Yeah, good.
We're going to get that haircut.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
We need to trim those golden locks, so to speak.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Joe is in dire need of a trim, and we're headed to the barber shop for a haircut. Joe has several disabilities. We bring along his walker just in case. I'm just going to put this in the back, and we're good to go. Off to Bell's Corners for a haircut. Sometimes I'll drive Joe to doctor's appointments. He was hospitalized recently for kidney issues. So how's your health?
Doing not too bad.
But this appointment is not about health, it's about haircuts. Yeah, I'm thinking you're turning into a bit of a hippie.
Well, it's been a couple of things that have gone on. The weather hasn't helped.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, just take your time.
Yeah.
We should be able to make it.
Yeah.
This is Joe, Henry.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Yeah. Yeah, I just need to trim.
Right, yeah.
As Henry does his magic on Joe's hair, we catch up on what's happening in our lives. We talk sports, the Raptors' rapid rise to the NBA title, pretty much any sport, especially hockey and baseball. We're both die-hard fans of the Toronto Maple Leafs. So Joe, we've been together, about 3 years now?
Yeah.
How's it been for you?
Oh, pretty good. It's been really good. It's been, we've done a lot of things together. Like go to a hockey game, and we went to baseball games. We've gone to that sandwich place.
Yeah, look like the new man, Joe.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome, thank you.
Yeah.
Citizen Advocacy has brought together literally thousands of people in the community over the years. In order to discover more about this hidden gem and the people who make it happen, we visit the organization's executive director.
Oh, hi, Mike. How are you?
Great to see you again.
Good. Have a seat.
All righty.
My name is Heather Lacey, and I'm the executive director, the new executive director for Citizen Advocacy of Ottawa.
Heather has been at the helm of Citizen Advocacy for less than a year after taking over from Brian Tardif, who built the organization into what it is today. So Heather, how does Citizen Advocacy work?
Citizen Advocacy has been in the community for 45 years. It's actually 45 years this year. Really the core program that started this organization was our matching program. The matching program takes individuals living with disabilities and matches them with volunteers, or as we call them, advocates. We're looking for volunteers that want to spend a year with us and commit to that. They go through an information session, they go through an all-day onboarding session, and then after that, we ask them to make that initial year-long commitment with the hope that this match becomes a friendship and can exist outside of the organizational structure. So we've had matches that have lasted for 20, sometimes 25 years, 30 years, so.
Lifetime.
Yes.
Longer than
yeah.
some marriages.
That's right, exactly, absolutely. So that's a testament to the program and what it can achieve, and actually it's a testament to how we match individuals.
Citizen Advocacy Ottawa, Changing Lives, will return. We now return to Citizen Advocacy Ottawa, Changing Lives. Now let's meet two of the people that Heather is talking about, Adrian and John. They both love nature, and they'll often experience it together. Sometimes they'll stroll along the Rideau River near Adrian's home. John is blind. Adrian helps him connect the sights and sounds of the river. They've been together since the late 90s, even before they were matched through Citizen Advocacy.
My name is John Robson.
And how old are you?
I'm 68 years old.
I am Adrian Raganandan. I am 56 years old. Married.
Adrian says he's always been drawn to volunteering. He and John quickly found some common interests.
John had an interest in learning, and I think that's kind of the thing that brought us together, because he had a real passion at that time for learning languages, and also had an interest in history. But we started off with languages, and he wanted to study German, which was a lot of fun, and turned out that Algonquin offered the course.
Chinese
That was fun too, right?
and American history. The President John F. Kennedy.
Yes.
Okay.
John F. Kennedy.
Okay, tell me more about that.
He was the president of the United States. And he's assassinated 56 years ago. Friday, November 22nd, 1963 at 12:30 p.m. in downtown Dallas, Texas.
I asked John about this one in particular. I said, did you actually listen to the funeral service? And he said, yes, he did, on the radio, right, John?
Yes,
And how old were you?
12 years old.
Yeah, and he listened to the whole unfolding of the assassination and the events on the radio. And John, where were you at that time?
STU,
Which is where?
Unia Regional Center in Aurelia.
And some of the things that you do together, describe them for me.
John has a fascination for electronics, so I've taken him to Best Buy and just let him push buttons as we go by the television screens and radios, and he just has a lot of fun with it, gadgets. He's very he loves technology. When I first met him, he was always talking about talking alarm clocks, eh?
Talking alarm clock.
Yeah. And talking watches.
Talking what?
Yeah.
Talking teaching?
But now you've got the best talking thing. What do you have in your room?
Alexa!
Yeah. And what does she do?
Tell us about the weather forecast for the next 7 days.
Citizen Advocacy Ottawa has attracted some high-profile supporters in the nation's capital, including Senator Vern White. As we stroll through the East Block building on Parliament Hill, Senator White explains how a tough ex-cop from Cape Breton became a champion for citizen advocacy.
I received this in Durham as the police chief.
He helps raise funds for the organization at an annual gala called Evening in the Maritimes. What do you think that citizen advocacy has done for the disabled community in Ottawa?
The number of volunteers who are hand in hand with clients in the community who are often battling developmental delay or developmental disabilities or other, sometimes in combination with concurrent disabilities, is quite impressive. You can see how it's a real relationship. It's not just two people, one person helping another. They've actually formed a bond, and sometimes it goes on for decades. It almost makes you emotional to think about how impressive this is, that people give up a part of their lives to connect, first of all, but then they bring that friend into their own life and become another extension of their family. Eh?
Margie Cunningham, who is paying a visit to her volunteer advocate, Wynne Lambert Meek, is a big part of that family. Though small in stature, Margie has been a huge presence in citizen advocacy for 25 years.
Hey, good morning, Margie. Come on in. It's cold out there.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Wynne has invited Margie to her home to learn some cooking skills. Margie needs to manage her diabetes better, so she wants Wynne to teach her how to prepare healthier foods.
I have diabetes type 2, and so it's a challenge for me to eat well. I have to walk half an hour every day to keep the sugar down. I'm watching my sugars. I can't have any sugar, really. Like candy, cakes, and cookies, and pies, they're out of my life. She loves the cooking, doing the cooking with me, and I like it too. And it's giving me a better life too. I'm eating well, much better than I used to be. So I really feel I need some cooking lessons from her.
But it's good for me to be able to share some things that I like with Margie, knowing that she has a passion for it.
Another passion they share is music. Margie needs a brace for her right arm. She's considered to be an amputee.
He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world.
This hasn't stopped her from learning how to play the ukulele and indulge in their passion for song. The relationships she's forged with Wynne and others in the organization have changed her life. You know, tell me about what it was like growing up.
When I was a little girl, I was quite lonely. A lot of kids wouldn't play with me because they saw my disability. And I had maybe one or two friends, but all the rest of them didn't know how to talk to me at all. You know, I was just a child then. And now everything's changed. My adult life is really good now, and I've been making friends everywhere. And I'm pretty good about that, and I'm very happy.
Citizen Advocacy Ottawa, Changing Lives, will return.
We're on the way to the dog park.
We now return to Citizen Advocacy Ottawa, Changing Lives. Peter Henry is also happy to be matched with his protege, Bruce Burwell.
Come on, Kane. Kane, come on.
Peter and Bruce are headed toward a gated dog park in Ottawa's West End, where Peter's 6-year-old golden lab Kane can escape his guide dog duties for a while. Kane is obedient and responsive.
Come.
Both Kane and Peter were trained through the Guide Dogs program run by the
Come on,
Lions
Kane.
Club Foundation. But he also seems to have an eye for the camera
Kane, come. Good boy.
and a keen sense of fun. So there's another brown dog here.
Uh-huh.
When freed of his guide dog duties, Kane is full of mischief and fun. As he continues to frolic with his canine friend, Peter talks about how he's made adjustments in his life. He showed signs of vision loss as a toddler and was totally blind at the age of 20.
When losing your vision, you have obstacles to go through, and you just different ways of dealing with them. You know, you can't be. I know some friends that I know that have lost their vision are very angry and you know, it's hard to deal with it that way. So you just gotta one day to the other and do the best you can. And I look at things, it could be a lot worse. I got my arms and my legs, and I can do things.
Bruce describes his friend Peter as hyper-competitive. Here, Peter is holding one of the many trophies he's earned at the annual Blind Anglers International Tournament near Ottawa. Both Peter and Bruce are avid curlers. Back in 2011, Peter's team won the silver medal in the Blind Curlers National Championship. For Bruce, a retired software designer, it's been an enriching experience, an experience that he's happy to share with others.
No, I've highly recommended citizen advocacy to a bunch of my friends.
Bruce tells his friends about citizen advocacy because he knows there's a chronic shortage of volunteers. It's something that Peter has experienced firsthand. Peter, you were telling me you waited a long time to be matched.
Before I got matched, I actually waited 7 years because there were lots in the east end of Ottawa, but none in the west end, volunteers. So it was a little trying, but.
I'm one person.
I can't change the world.
I can't solve every problem.
But I can change one life.
Unfortunately, Peter's story is not unusual.
Just a single person.
Citizen Advocacy has launched this campaign, which features some of its members to attract more volunteers. The campaign is necessary because the waiting list of disabled people to be matched has grown to over 300, while the waiting period is an average of 4 years. The marketing campaign helps spread the word.
Become a champion.
About how volunteering can have a lasting impact, says Citizen Advocacy Executive Director Heather Lacey.
You can't really put a value on what people are getting from the matches, both on the advocate side and on the individual side as well. So we're really grateful that people look at us and want to be part of our organization and part of someone's life.
We've heard an awful lot in recent times about loneliness. And there have been studies that have shown that it can lead to poor health outcomes. Do you think that citizen advocacy attacks that problem of loneliness?
The more engagement people have in their community, the healthier they are. As you know, loneliness can create physical disabilities or physical illness. It can create some mental challenges for people. And I think that when you're matched and you have a friend and somebody that you can call and who's reliable, that really goes a long way to help your state of mind and your physical health. It's just beautiful. It really is.
The question arises, could Canada use more citizen advocacy?
I mean, I come from a small town in Cape Breton and I've always cherished the opportunities I've had.
It's a question I put to Senator Vern White, who has kept mementos of his many adventures across Canada. He's taught and studied at several universities in this country and internationally, while serving as chief of the Ottawa and Durham police forces and as a senior officer in the RCMP. Do you think the model for this organization could work in other cities across the country?
Certainly think it could be emulated. I mean, I have to be fair that it's a bit of a magic show in Ottawa for some reason. You know, people have been It almost has grown from within itself as a small organization with limited number. Now they have dozens of employees and hundreds of volunteers and clients. But I certainly think it could be emulated, and I think a template could be dropped in any city in the country.
Many people tell me that citizen advocacy is like a family. Well, this past winter, we lost a family member. John Leger died after slipping on the ice at a bus stop. John's many friends in the organization have resolved that his death will not be in vain. They're pressing the City of Ottawa to improve access to the disabled transit system and do a better job of cleaning sidewalks.
John, do you like butter on your toast?
Yes, please.
Okay. So John asked for a fried egg sandwich for lunch, and he wanted cheddar cheese on it.
Back with Adrian and John, it's time for lunch.
I was trying to talk John into a hamburger and fries, but fried egg and cheddar cheese it is.
Adrian and his wife Loretta are cooking up one of John's favorite dishes, a simple egg and cheddar cheese sandwich served up with a lot of love.
I'm going to put a serviette so you don't get your nice shirt messed up.
John devours the sandwich without delay. Adrian, for his part, is happy to cook and serve his friend.
It's a heck of a commitment that you're making.
I did feel that at one time. When I first started, I was in my 30s, and I was working for the tax department. I took on a project that had me working a lot, and I remember being very tired and sort of asking if I could take a break from the volunteer relationship because the work was so consuming. And at that time, the counselor, John's counselor, was very, very understanding. This is for your hands and mouth.
However, Adrian changed his schedule and the frequency of their visits, and their friendship just got stronger.
I've learned a lot from John, and I would like to think I've learned a lot more through this relationship than he's benefited from me. One of the things I've appreciated out of the relationship is just learning how to see things a little, not see things, but feel what maybe John might feel going through life, and learning how to adapt to that. So John's very loud. His voice is loud, right? Naturally.
I go to Cap Mesquana this tonight.
As John talks about his plans for summer camp, Adrian has made a point that resonates with me. Learning how to see things through someone else's eyes. It's really what I've discovered with Joe. So you're looking very trim?
Yeah.
I think we've earned ourselves a coffee or something cold to drink.
Yeah.
Our barbershop duties done, Joe and I head to the neighborhood diner for a cup of tea and a chat. As usual, there's a lot of chatter about the Blue Jays and optimism about the coming season for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
If they show up their defense and they do some of the things they need to do, they're close enough to go for it now.
I think about what Joe must have endured as a kid. Name-calling and bullying. He's never dwelled on it. In fact, he's thrived to become a strong advocate for the disabled, participating in fundraisers like this bottle drive and serving on committees aimed at addressing the lack of access for the disabled. I've learned a lot from this relationship.
Yeah.
I've learned about you, and I've learned about some of the issues
Yeah.
you face, and I look at the world a lot differently than I used to.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you've taught me a lot.
Yeah. You've taught me a lot too, so.
This organization, citizen advocacy, that whole concept, what do you think about it?
That was a game changer for us, a real game changer.
Hard to believe, really, that the simple act of friendship found in a stroll along the river can be a game changer, but John and Adrian believe it can.
I want to plug something for citizen advocacy somehow. I don't think this is a huge commitment, but a little bit of time from your life makes a big difference to someone else's life.
Good boy.
It's that simple. Whether it's Peter and Bruce watching Kane play in the dog park, or Margie and Wynne singing their hearts out, friendship can change lives.
There you go.
Executive producer, Willie Purstel, Skyfly Productions. Producer and host, Mike Murphy. Camera operators, Willie Purstel, Paul Nolan, and Roland Perker. Integrated Described Video Specialist, Ron Rickford. Regional Content Specialist, Karen McGee. Coordinating Producer, Jennifer Johnson. Director, Production, Karen I. Director, Programming, Brian Perdue. VP, Programming and Production, John Melville. President and CEO, David Arrington. Copyright 2019, Accessible Media Incorporated.